Hi, I'm Lisa from SquareOne Training, and I'd like to share some tips and tricks for highlighting in Excel and moving around really fast. We're going to start with a spreadsheet that is in 2013 version, but everything I cover is in all versions, so please try this wherever you use Excel. First of all, navigating around Excel, you want to navigate, and at the moment I'm in C7, which is the active box or cell that I've currently got my cursor in. To jump around it, if you actually click where it says C7, you can type a cell reference that you'd like to go to. For instance, A1000 would take me down 1,000 rows in column A. So A1000, doesn't matter if you do uppercase or lowercase, you then press enter and it takes you there. Again, click there. If I want to go to H100, you can type that and again enter. So very, very useful. Okay, I'll go back to A1. Other things where people ask me is, okay, that's great, Lisa, but what I really need to know is how to get to my total without knowing it's H100 or whatever it might be. So you can actually name cells, a group of cells or an individual cell. So for instance, I can click onto this total here, and I can go to the box that we've been using to navigate around. By clicking there, I can write total and enter. So that has named the cell. I can also highlight a range of cells. So if I highlight this range of cells, and I do that by clicking on the first one, holding down the shift key on my keyboard and clicking on the last one within that group. So I don't drag, I do click, hold down my shift key and click on the last one. So I've highlighted that range, and I can click up here into the name box and I can call that product total, for instance. It has to be one word. You can't do two in that box or three or whatever. Can't have spaces in the middle. So one word, or you can use underscores. So if you wanted to, an underscore and then total, it would be up to you. Again, when you finish, you press enter and that has named the range. So wherever I am in a spreadsheet, doesn't matter what sheet you're on or whether you're on a different sheet, this sheet, you literally click onto this area and you can say, take me to my product total. So for navigation, very, very useful. On later sessions, I'll be looking at how you do formulas using these. These are called range names. So how you can print with them and do formulas. So check that out at a later date. Okay. Moving around spreadsheets as well using the keyboard. I'm a great keyboard fanatic, and so using the keyboard, if you use your control key and do your down arrow on the keyboard, you've got up arrow down, left and right on any keyboard. So if I go control and down arrow, that will highlight the last active box within that column. So again, control, this time I'm going to use the right arrow and that should take me to that 634 because that's the active box within that row. Okay, so control left is going to take me to total. So again, very useful. If you imagine you had a really large list of numbers and you needed to go to the bottom of that numbers, maybe that's where your total is, control down arrow. We covered earlier the actual features of the shift key, and I said to you that if you click at the start, hold down your shift key and click at the end, it would highlight the area. And the shift key in any Microsoft package is actually a magic select button that you can use. So for instance, if I wanted to highlight a block of information in here, I could do Control, Shift and down arrow, Okay, so that's going to highlight from the cell I was on to the bottom range there. And again, holding down the Control and Shift key, I can then do the right arrow, and that will highlight from where I was to the active box at the end. So we do it here. Okay, Control, Shift and down arrow with it still highlighted, the Control and the Shift. You then do the right arrow, and that will highlight without all of that dragging. So I hope you like those so far. Going to give you one more and then we're going to finish the session. Inserting rows and columns and highlighting rows and columns is very easy. You all probably know to highlight a column you click on to the C, for instance. But if you actually do Control and space bar, it will do it for you, and that's very useful if you've got a big screen. So anywhere in the column, Control and space bar. If you've got 3 cells highlighted, for instance, something like that, if you then did Control space bar, it's going to highlight those 3 columns. And then we have the rows. So if I wanted to highlight 3 rows very fast without moving over here, highlighting them, I highlight any cells within those rows and Shift and space bar, and then that will highlight the 3 rows. So hope you like those. Please join me for other sessions if you do. My name's Lisa. Thank you very much for your time.